graduate Gene Connor.
Well, and then Waddell.
Next, we welcome 2010 graduate Hunter Potts. Hunter is being escorted by Katie and Paxton Potts. Hunter earned 6 varsity letters, 4-year letter winner in baseball, 2-year letter winner in football, NBC Player of the Year in baseball and football, first team All-NBC in baseball and football, All-Ohio first team defense, All-Northeast Ohio Defensive Player of the Year. He is also All-County Defensive First Team, WHBC All-County Linebacker, Stark County Elite 11 Akron Beacon Top 25,
2 o'clock on
and
Saturday.
2 no-hitters for the Leopards.
They're going to feed us.
He is also the only player to pitch a no-hitter and
Last
hit
thing
2 home
starts at
runs
9.
in the same game.
Tomorrow. Rehearsal.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to our second
Halftime
inductee,
is a jump around,
2010
celebration of
graduate,
jump around,
Hunter Potts.
which will include an orchestra, a live painter, field banners, 11 plane flyover, and a live poetry reading.
Next, we welcome 2006 graduate Kyle Smith. Kyle is being escorted by his wife, Andrea Smith, children Chase and Cooper Smith, and his parents, Brian and Mary Smith. Kyle earned 10 varsity letters, 3-year letter winner in basketball and baseball, 2-year letter winner in football and golf. Part of 6 NBC championship teams, 3-year starter in basketball, conference honorable mention, defensive player of the year, 2-year starter in football, which the team went 10-0 in 2006. First team all-conference, honorable mention All-Ohio, 3-year starter in baseball, first team all-conference in 2005 and 2006, ranked the 3rd best prospect in the state of Ohio, ranked the 179th best prospect in the nation, and a 2012 graduate of Kent State University earning a degree in sports management. 3-year starter at Kent State University, winner of 3 MAC championships, first team All-League, and drafted by the Cleveland Guardians in 2009. Once again, let's give a round of applause to our 3rd inductee, 2006 graduate Kyle Smith. Once again, join me in congratulating our class of 2023, Gene Connor, Hunter Potts, and Kyle Smith, as our newest inductees into the Louisville Athletic Hall of Fame. If you would like to nominate someone for future Hall of Fame classes, please see our website at leopardathletics.org. Congratulations.
It was the 1947-48 school year, and according to information in the LHS yearbook, the Mirror yearbook staff struggled to find descriptions for the Blue Raider symbol, which is what represented Louisville High School. They brainstormed multiple options, looked at various symbols and descriptive words, and created a display of different options for students to examine. It was time to vote on the future mascot. Student voting took place during a 7th period By a vote of 317 to 177, the leopard was selected. More feared and more intelligent than the lion or tiger. Vicious, graceful, leaps, hard bite, and full of fight. Here we are, 75 years later, a special anniversary year for our district. And in 1948, students at LHS that decided the future of this district would have a leopard mascot, and the community has embraced it.
And this is when the moment turns to memory. And this is when
Mic check.
You're very generous on the thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please stand as our band plays the Louisville alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to remain standing for our national anthem. Tonight, as we prepare for an exciting and enjoyable game of high school football between two friendly rivals, we should first begin by remembering the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. We honor those memories of those who perished and those who have sacrificed to protect our freedom and our way of life. Following a brief moment of silent prayer or reflection, we ask that you join the Louisville High School Marching Band in the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
Play this spot here, then we'll come back and
Welcome to week 3 of Friday night high school football. It's a rivalry matchup between the 2-1 North Canton Hoover Vikings and the 1-2 Louisville Leopards here on a beautiful night here at Louisville Stadium. This is Mac Aljancic, joined by longtime Louisville teacher and coach Frank Grimm. Frank, Leopards and Hoover, this is a special matchup in Stark County, and it's been going on for quite a while.
Well, in fact, this is the 101st meeting between Louisville and North Canton Hoover, which, I mean, you think about the lexicon of Stark County football, it definitely is one of the longest rivalries in the county. Oddly enough, I was checking out the records today. Louisville does hold the advantage, 56 wins, 39 losses, and 5 ties against Hoover all time, but we haven't won a game against Hoover since 2019, and Hoover has won, I believe, 8 of the last 9.
Yes, so the Vikings under head coach Brian Baum, who's been his, I believe, 7th year, has got the program sailing pretty smooth, the Viking ship. Chris Kappas, in just his 4th game for the Louisville Leopards, is putting a rebuilding thing on. They're starting their Federal League swing. They play Hoover tonight. They travel to Lake next week, host Perry, travel to Galeno, Coast Green. I think I have those 2 G teams backwards, but boys are going to have to go up. They had a tough loss against Northwest this week. They have to go up this week, and they play a pretty good North Canton team. You want to talk a little about them?
Sure, for sure. North Canton is led by their quarterback, Carson Dyerland. He's a stud. He's got a good arm. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns this year. He's run for 4 touchdowns as well. His number 1 target is Mason Ashby. Mason caught a couple touchdowns last week as well. And they have a real balanced run game. It's really kind of running back by committee. They hand the ball off to a lot of players. One thing I think you'll notice tonight, Mac, is on the offensive line, North Canton is big. They protect, they run block real well. I think that they're going to have a nice mix tonight between run and pass, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to try and control the line of scrimmage.
And for the Leopards, it's kind of the tale of, at least reflecting back to last week's game, tale of 2 teams from 2 halves. First quarter and a half, the Leopards were physical up front, dominate the Northwest Indians, and had really things going and got all the way down to the 1-yard line, couldn't punch it in. Northwest from there, about middle of the second quarter, they owned most of the game and kind of pivoted up front where the Leopards they dominated early, and then unfortunately Northwest got more muscle up front in the last 2.5 quarters of the game.
Yeah, I know that. It was a feeling of a little bit of dejection last week when we just couldn't get things going. We were inside the red zone a couple times, came up empty, and then a lot of momentum shifting into the second half. But I look for Owen Bjork to have a better game tonight. Owen's our quarterback. He's thrown for 605 yards this year and 4 touchdowns along with 3 interceptions. He's also a dual threat. He can run the ball. And I know that going into this week, talking to some of our assistant coaches, they were very concerned with having better protection for Owen tonight to run and pass the ball. He's the linchpin to our offense, and we're going to go tonight as he goes.
Yeah, and the offensive line did a good job at Zanesville 2 weeks ago. The Leopards only went a 22-0 win. Really, I thought the first quarter and a half, I thought they did a nice job, and Owen did nice things with that protection. Protection got a little tougher, and sometimes when you get pressure on quarterbacks, it makes it a lot tougher to make connections, and that's how Northwest pivoted the game on their defensive end. And yeah, it's important. Again, they're going to face a strong Federal League team here with a good tradition. And we're going to have to really grow up this week.
Well, this is always an important game. I mean, if you've lived in Louisville, I've been fortunate enough to coach in this rivalry, and I can tell you that tonight it's going to be a bloodbath. Whenever these two teams take the field, you can throw the records out the window. This is a rivalry game. This is something that our kids look forward to every football season, 101 times. Obviously, there's a lot of tradition in both teams, so I'm excited for this game tonight.
Yes, and our players, whether it's through relatives, through the coaches, through the community, they know about playing the orange and black over there. Some would call them the pumpkin heads.
For sure.
Myself, a child of the graduated in the late 80s. North Canton and Louisville, really neat. In the 70s, they were the big two of the Federal League. Between, I think, 1970 and 1982, I think one or the other won the Federal League every year.
Right.
And they were some special teams, and that's carried over.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and two
welcome to
immensely great community football traditions. Massillon, McKinley,
versus the North
rural Star
Canton
County, but
Hoover.
Louisville and Hoover are two communities that are right behind them in passion and care. So it's looking forward to seeing this. Reading through the North Canton lineup, seeing some familiar names. Ashby's been a name that's been a strong part of Hoover football. I see Chase Lukens, who's a sophomore. Zarko, I remember playing against Zarko, who played Big Ten. So, and of course, Louisville has their name sprinkled that we've seen for generations on end. So it's going to be a fun night. It's important for the Leopards here. Hopefully, had a good week of practice. Bouncing back from a disappointing loss, so you have to come out and play physical Federal League football.
Throw the records out the window, Mac. It is Louisville and North Canton Hoover.
And we see the pride of Louisville, Louisville marching band out on the field. Lined up here as the Tom Siegfried, the voice of the Leopards, is announcing the starters here. We got the Louisville cheerleaders up front there. It's a really nice night. We've had good nights for football here, and it's a nice, almost perfect weather.
Well, when the weather turns bad is when I turn it over to your brother to call the rest of the season. So this might be my last night in the box. I'm not sure, but it is a beautiful night here in Louisville Stadium.
I will say the one box, you can count on it being a little drier and a little warmer than down on the sideline. I do admit to being a fair weather fan when it literally comes to the weather. Get older in age, get a little colder.
For sure.
So we see out there, I think it's Matt Crosby holding the flag, leading them out there, and
Cooper Rice. Cooper had a huge game last week.
Player of the game. We didn't announce the player of the game last week, but he'd have been the one. Talk a little about how Cooper played last week.
Cooper plays defensive back for us. We play a lot of man coverage, and last week all Cooper decided to do was have 3 interceptions in one game, which has given him 4 on the season. So he's got 4 interceptions through 3 weeks of the season. Cooper's a heck of a baseball player. He's a good athlete, and I'm hoping he has a big game tonight as well.
Yeah, and I believe, I got to look up my records, but Jared Heller, who runs Leopard Nation and really does a great job with Louisville history, 3 interceptions actually was not the record for interception in a game. Joe Callan, that's a name that many older fans remember,
Louisville Hall of Famer.
4 interceptions against Jackson back in 1984.
Wow.
The late Joe Callan, if I remember right, unfortunately passed away. If I remember right, he had 3 against the Dukes the year before. Mark Zustin, who I coached in hoops, a scrappy cornerback, had 3 against Canton South in 2002. Tim Culp, I don't know that name, but he had 3 against Jackson in 1973.
Jackson throwing a lot of picks there, Mac.
There you go. I'm glad he didn't post how many the quarterback threw the most picks in the game.
Right. That might be you.
No comment. No comment there. So we're about ready to kick off here. And Leopards wearing their Columbia blue tonight. Really sharp uniforms. Got a little Houston Oiler love you blue. I will say it's a crime that the Houston Texans, I think they need to just go back to the Houston Oilers.
I actually saw a post sometime here in the summer that their throwback jerseys are the old Oiler jerseys.
But it's not the Texans, it's the Tennessee Titans are going to be wearing them. Because that's actually, which kind of, so, don't like that, but it is what it is. Bud Adams, his family owns Tennessee, which that's where Houston moved from. So.
Yep.
Got set to kick off here for the Vikings is number 97, Paul Koskovic. Back deep for the Leopards is number 18, I believe, Gabe Stouffer. And number 15, Owen DeMarzio, a couple of sophomores. Leopards, young team, a lot of inexperience. You'll hear a lot of sophomores mixed in. So Leopards growing up here, and we're about ready to get underway. DeMarzio taking the kick. It's going to go back to the end zone. Should be a dead ball there. I'm not sure why.
He touched it. He touched it in the field of play.
I think it still should be a dead ball. Let's see what they do there. You can touch it. Yeah, you can muff it. So
I believe
you should have blew it dead, to be honest.
I believe it should be 1st and 10 from the 20.
So our officials are going to call it a touchback. It's only your head official back there, too. You kind of should know that.
I'm surprised they let that go and didn't blow the whistle.
Yes.
It's odd.
So Leopards going to take over on their own 25-yard line. I will say once I see kickoffs, you'll see a short kick, and once in a while they don't cover it.
A live ball.
They think of it as a punt, and I've seen teams do this. Actually, at the 20-yard line, we haven't gone to I wonder how long it'll be till we go to the college and NFL where you get it at 25.
Probably not too much longer, I'm thinking.
Yep. So Owen DeMarzio set to take the snap, not the under center, but in the shotgun, flanked by Cam Dockery. Braden Hershey, receiver on the bottom side here with Tate Golden. Up top, Austin Wade, and Matt Crosby. Give to Dockery. He's got a nice hole, picks up about 7. Good first start for Leopards.
Nice run right up the middle by Cam. Cam puts his shoulders down. Something we didn't do a super great job of last week was running at people. We tried to stretch the field a little bit, and we didn't have a lot of success.
Great point there. You're going to play downhill and attack that defense. 2nd and 3. Right up the middle again. Doherty maybe gets a yard. It's going to make it about 3rd and a short 2.
Cam Doherty with a short gain on the play. 3rd and 1, Leopards.
You're going to see some from Austin Wade. He had a nice game against Zanesville. He wasn't targeted, if I remember right, last week.
No.
So the big tight end, 6'4". Leopards go to their power package there.
Will Ramsey at quarterback.
Colton Loy in motion, and we're going to do a little wildcat, but I guess it looks like we're going to have offside against the Vikings. And I think Will Ramsey, good to see him back there. I think, unfortunately, he's been battling with an ankle injury, so I think I'm going to guess his original plan was put him in the backfield more, but they're trying to keep his usage down.
Right, he only played defense he had 2 carries last week. He played mostly defense.
One of those was for a short yardage touchdown. So the Leopards, first down. Put that down just a hair. Burek shuffles around. He looks like he's going to maybe pick up a yard or 2.
I like what we're doing on offense, Mac. We are running right at Hoover, right up the middle here. One off tackle play, running north and south.
Yeah, doing that, that's going to set up some other things here.
Possibly a little play action right here.
2nd down. Definitely Leopards have been favoring the pass this year, but we haven't seen one yet tonight. Coach Kappas trying to establish that run game. Balance set. We had some movement. Looks like a design quarterback draw. Burek's got plenty of room. He gets to the outside, across the 50, little stutter step to the 40, 30, cuts back all the way to the 28-yard line.
Great play. That's our old zone read right there, Mac. We're reading the tackle. Owen decided to pull that one, got up behind his guard, and made a nice play out of it.
Nice job downfield blocking the big guys up front. Brady Hawk, Chase Wondercheck, Cam Atwell, Cyrus Wright, Trevor Burek. Doing a great job up front this first drive of the game. Burek looking for his first pass there. Little screen pass, Doherty. And initial seam, good job by the Vikings following up there. He's going to pick up about 4 or 5.
Little middle screen there.
Cam Doherty for a pickup of 4 on the play.
Cam running hard this week. Not that he didn't run hard last week, but man, he looks like he's playing a little bit harder here, running through contact.
Cole Rembiak makes the tackle for the Vikings from his middle linebacker spot. 2nd and 6. Burek scans the defense. Keep the quarterback keeper. Nothing there initial. Nice cutback, and he's going to pick up maybe a couple here.
Good containment by Hoover, forcing back inside. Linebackers cleaned it up. Brings up a pretty important 3rd down. I think this is 2-down territory, in my opinion.
Leopards do have a nice kicker, but obviously we're different than the NFL here. You can get 7 points, you're definitely going to go for it here. 3rd and 4, let's hope we don't have to get in that position here. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Braden Hershey isolated up top. Fake to Doherty, pump fake. Burek keeps it. He gets close to a first down. Nice tackle there.
36. Chase Lukens.
All right, that's a name that's been called a lot for the Vikings defense there.
Chase
sophomore
linebacker.
Looks like we're going to go that power back package again there. Will Ramsey.
Colton Lloyd slot.
Wyatt Smith back there at the lead back. Low lean, they don't call anything, and it looks like Ramsey's going to bulldoze himself for a Leopard first down. The Ramseys are a dairy farm, but that was definitely a beef.
That was a plow horse.
That was an Angus beef plow horse.
That was a plow horse right there.
So
good for 2 yards. Good to see Will running the ball.
Shout out to the Ramseys. You've had milk in the last 5 decades plus. I'm sure you might have had a little bit of Ramsey produced milk. Have not made a milk reference in my broadcasting career. That's my first one. All right, Leopards here at the 15-yard line there. Back to the regular set there. Cam Doherty, sidecar to Owen Burek. Burek's going to look up top there to Wade, and he's off target there.
You know, Mac, Austin Wade territory inside the 20. He's a big target, plays tight end for us. He's 6'5". He has real good hands. It was a nice play, just not a good connection there by Owen.
I think a little pressure made Owen probably throw it earlier than he wanted to. 2nd and 10 here. Louisville Stadium here, first drive here. Leopards have burned off 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Really nice first drive, setting the tone here in their first Federal League opponent of the year. Burek's going to give up the gut to Doherty. He's got some room, and he gets about 4. He's going to make it a 3rd and 6 here.
Positive yards there. Another tackle by Lukens. Chase Lukens, if you're at home watching, this is a kid you're going to want to watch on defense. He's a sophomore, but he's leading the team on tackles. If I'm not mistaken, his dad played for North Canton Hoover, and he went on to play at the Ohio State University.
Yep.
Kurt.
Great player there in the late 90s, if I remember my numbers right there. 3rd and 6. Burek trips to the bottom there. He's going to keep it, and he is nothing doing as the wave of Vikings knocks him back for a loss of a couple. It's going to make it 4th and 8. I think Coach Kappa's maybe hoping to get it down to 4-down territory, but it's definitely going to be a field goal here. Chase Dusky comes out to kick. Gabe Stouffer's going to be the holder. Colton Loy snapping. 28-yard attempt. Let's hope we can cap this nice first drive here. Set the tone.
Right hash.
Dusky gets the kick up, and he puts it through.
Nice. Good kick, Chase.
So, with 5 minutes, 30 seconds left in the first quarter, the Leopards put out a nice first drive of the game, and they take a 3-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break on the Straget Media Network. We're back at Louisville Stadium. The Leopards with a nice 80-yard drive.
Yeah, 80.
Minus 18, 62-yard drive there. That's why I was a math major at Muskingum there. With a 28-yard field goal by Carter Dusky. Have taken a 3-0 lead. I should take that. It was a 69-yard drive. Got to add the 7 yards for the field goal.
That you do.
So Leopards up 3-0.
I like what Louisville did on that drive, Mac. We came out well game plan. We ran the ball right at North Canton Hoover, made some big chunk plays on the zone reads, and got 3 points on the board.
Dusky gets it back to the 10-yard line. Breaks it to the outside. He's got room to the 40, to the 30, to the 20, and he is gone. Jack Andes takes it all the way to the house, and the Vikings take a 6-3 lead.
Boy, that's just a backbreaker. Jack Andes takes it the distance up the right sideline, missed a couple tackles by the Leopards, ran away from a couple people, and before you know it, here you are. You're down 6-3, chance to go up 7-3. That's just demoralizing after a real good opening drive by the Leps.
Tried to kick it away from Ashby, and Andes
made him pay.
There you go. Drilled through the middle by Koskovic, and the Vikings take a 7-3 lead here with the Viking offense yet to take the field here. Well, got outside contained.
Yep. This is one of those things. He made a nice cut, made a couple people miss, ran through a tackle, and was turned on the Jets. Touchdown Hoover.
So the Leopards playing a little Jim Tressel ball, controlling the ball, burning clock, gets the 3 points, and then give up a home run next pitch. So,
well, let's see how they rebound here on this kickoff and next offensive drive.
So this is Hall of Fame night here at Louisville. We're going to be talking to a couple of Hall of Famers here a little bit later. Kyle Smith, a 2006 LHS graduate. Really nice receiver for the Leopards, more known for his pitching. Did some minor league work with the Cleveland Indians. And Hunter Potts, another great dual athlete. I knew he was a great linebacker for the Leopards. Forgot about how good of a pitcher he was. So we'll
pitched 2 no-hitters for us.
Tegan Evans will be interviewing a little later. Owen DiMarzio takes the kick, gets across the 15, gets a seam. Oh, and just barely missed.
Boy,
break one there.
He had a seam, and Owen's our fastest player. If he makes that, if he makes that one cut right there, gets through unscathed, I got to think he's scoring on that play.
Fortunately, the turf monster got him. The Leopards are going to take over on the 21-yard line for their second series here. Coach Chris Kappas calling the plays. Head coach Chris Kappas. Burek gives up the gut to Doherty. Doherty pushes forward for a couple.
Again, running downhill at him, Mac. It seems to be the recipe.
Chase Lukens makes the tackle. That's a name we'll be saying a lot tonight.
On the tackle for the Vikings.
You know, the thing about Coach Kappas, his Division I background as a coach, I mean, I've felt all 4 weeks we've been super prepared for our opponents.
Snap, little screen out to Tate Golden. Gets upended there. He's going to pick up about 5. Nice tackle by Mitch Gregory.
Little bubble screen right there. Probably a run pass option, I'm assuming. Brings up 3rd and short. 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2.
Mitch Gregory on the tackle.
Leopards going back to their power formation there. Will Ramsey taking the snap. He's going to go forward and move them chains. Picks up about 3. I like they're really going to a power package. I've seen some schools do that where they just sub in a bunch of personnel and say, we're going to come right at you.
Yep.
Run a few. They probably have a 3 or 4 play script of that. Maybe hopefully 1 play action pass. We'll see. Maybe Will.
Oh, boy. I don't know. Having taught Will in gym class, I'm not so sure he's going to be making a lot of downfield throws.
1st and 10 on the 34. Burek. Push to his weak hand. He's going to cut upfield. Breaks a tackle. Takes a slide. Gets a maybe about 4 or 5.
Another positive play for the Leps. We're moving the ball pretty well.
Owen does a nice job sliding the pocket and finding those seams. Keeping his eyes downfield. Got 5. Second and 4, 2nd and 5 right now. 7-3 Vikings here. Burek moves in the pocket, and he's just going to throw one away there.
Pass intended for number 8,
Smart choice.
Smart choice. We know last week, early in the 3rd quarter, he was trying to make a play and had a turnover. I know that's probably haunted him all week. That was definitely the right thing to do right there.
And I'll say coaches have always preached ball security, but I will say I think interceptions, you go back 10, 20, 34 years, have definitely, even though passing's increased, I think there's less interceptions for a variety of reasons, but I think it's really emphasized, hey, take care of the ball. You're going to get a chance to chuck it again.
Sure.
Whereas back in my day, you only threw it a few times, and you got to get a little pass happy when you got a chance to. Looking down the middle, and it's a little behind. It might have been tipped by Lukens, and just behind Golden, and the Leopards are going to have to punt.
Yep, Aiden Kish on the coverage there for Hoover. Brings up 4th down. Leopards are going to punt.
Chase Dusky, returning from last year's punter. So Mason Ashby back for the Vikings.
Carter Dusky back to punt for the Leopards.
Sub in here. Low snap. Dusky fields it. Gets off a nice wobbly spiral. And it's going to go inside, all the way inside, all the way to the 12-yard line.
Wow.
Great kick by Dusky.
Great directional kick. Trying to kick it away from Mason Ashby of Hoover, who definitely is one of their better players. Well executed.
I believe that was a 50-yard punt.
It's a beaut.
And the Vikings will take over. 7-3. We're going to take a quick break on the Straggett Media Network. All right, we're back. This is Mac Aljancic alongside Frank Grimm here. 7-3 Vikings here, late in the 1st quarter. Leopards on a nice 68-yard drive and in a field goal. Vikings answer with a 90-yard touchdown kickoff return there. Carson Dryland, first handoff, first snap, hands off to, I couldn't quite see who got the ball there. Is that Carson Morris? I couldn't quite see that.
Couldn't see it either.
20, there we go, number 20 there. Kyler Miraglia picks up 1.5 here, 2nd down. Ryland looking for the back shoulder. Nice catch there by Zach Rocker.
Real nice play. Louisville in a cover 2 defense. They ran a little out route to occupy the quarterback, and he threw it right down the seam where it is, where the opening is, away from the safety. That's just good coaching and execution right there.
Vikings get their first down of the game. Reglia with the carry. He's got big hole, and he gets just short of a first down.
Gabe Stouffer on the tackle.
And it looks like they are going to give him the first down. I think one thing I know I've having conversation, I think officials nowadays, if it's close first down, it's not a third down play. They're just going to move the chains there. So got a good spot. Vikings out to the 40-yard line. Ashby's a favorite target there. John Collins, number 1 out there at receiver. Going to give there Maraglia. He slips through, and he's going to pick up about 4. North Canton had a big week offensively last week, put up 56 and gave up nothing against Cincinnati Doane, which is a 0-3 school, which I think is, I understand, not much in terms of football. Got rolled the week before by the Hudson Explorers 45-8, and they edged Bookdale in week 1, 27-21. Bookdale has not yet to win a game, so Vikings don't have many computer points so far. Give to Maraglia. He's going to bounce on the outside. Great tackle there by Will Ramsey and Carter Dean.
Good fill by Will. It looks like Hoover's running game. They're handing the ball off and letting him just do a lot of zone reading. He's just picking the spots and running in daylight.
3rd and 5. Trips to the top side. And something that's plagued Leopards all year is just greedy on pass rush. That's probably about their 4th offsides on a 3rd down play here in this young season. That's going to probably move the chains.
Yeah, Wyatt Smith got a little anxious there at right defensive end.
5-yard penalty. First down.
So, the Leopards bail out the Vikings there. Right at the midfield here. As we're getting to just about the end of the first quarter here. Trips to the top side there. Dyerland resets, looks to coach for signal as coaches react to the defensive lineman. Leopards look too deep. Ryland looking up top, looking to the well. He's got a man. And out of the hands of Zach Brocker, and it's going to be 2nd and 10. Cover 2 deep safeties. Needs to call back, and they got the well there. That quick seam route to the sidelines, tough for that safety to get over. They had it, but couldn't make the connection.
What they did there is they ran 2 vertical on the left side, occupying the safety, and then ran a back out to the flat. I mean, they know we're running cover 2, and they're trying to exploit those soft spots in the zone.
I know they're high on Dryland. As a quarterback, throws a nice ball.
He does.
Raglia breaks a tackle. He pushes forward, and he is close to first down. Gabe Stouffer puts him up just 2 yards short, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. So we got 12 minutes of the books. It's the Hoover Vikings 7, the Louisville Leopards 3. You're watching the Straggit Media Network.
Hello, I'm Tanya of Thomas Dental. Would you like to improve your smile? Maybe you think you're not a candidate. Here at Thomas Dental, we can offer you dental solutions from professional whitening, braces to full mouth restoration with payment arrangements for almost any budget. At Thomas Dental, you have access to a dentist 24/7, from routine dental visits to emergency dental care. We're one call away when you need dental help the most.
You are CBS Sports, and of course, the Louisville Herald.
All right, we're back at Louisville Stadium here. 1 quarter in the books. The Hoover Vikings lead the Louisville Leopards 7-3. Great Stark County rivalry rematch here. Game 101. Frank Grimm alongside myself, Mac Aljancic. Hoover going with a little power. They're going to stay the power formation. They're going to break out of it here. The quarterback keeper. And Ireland pushes
short
for about 2. He's going to make it 3rd and 1.
Nice play by Wyatt Smith off the left end right there.
Carter Deem gets up slowly and looks like he's going to take a break.
Owen DiMarzio checking in.
Now they give a first down on that spot.
Wow. That was generous. You mentioned that they're trying to move the chains quickly, but I don't know about that one.
Yeah, he looked good at least. I thought almost a full yard short, but don't have the eagle eyes that those zebras have down there. So first down here.
Or cross eyes.
Reglia with the give. He breaks to the outside and he blows his shoulder. Picks up about 6.
Again, a little zone read by Hoover. He's just running the daylight. He's a nice little back.
Ty Palmier makes the tackle.
Palmier on the stop for the Leopards.
2nd and 4. Leopards up front. Brady Hawk. Wyatt Smith at the defensive tackle position.
Josh Nicholson is at nose.
Ireland thrown to the outside. He makes the connection. He's got the corner. Ashby all the way down to the 23-yard line. Beautiful catch and throw. Ashby did a nice job getting the corner, and the Vikings are in business again here with a 7-3 lead.
It's a nice play designed by Hoover. They put their most athletic kid in motion, threw him a little bubble screen, put him on the perimeter, one-on-one blocking, just let him do his thing.
Leopards are showing pressure from their linebackers. Got Cam Doherty and Will Ramsey inside right now. DiMarzio and Carter Dusky, the outside backers there. Give them Raglia. Scoots through the outside, and he's going to get about 5 or so.
Ty Palmier come up from a safety spot and really put a hit on him there. Lost his helmet.
Showing off his locks. Going to take a little break there. And Braden Elder comes in.
Wyatt Smith on the stop for the Leopards.
Rice and Palmier have been at the cornerback. Gabe Stouffer, Colton Loy at safeties. 2nd and 5 here. Early 2nd quarter on a beautiful night for football. Week 4 in the Buckeye State. 2 backs in the backfield, Ashby and Maraglia. Dyerland looking up top. He's got trying to hit Ashby on the wheel route, and it was not open, and I don't know if it was tipped or thrown away.
That ball looked tipped to me. But regardless, Blink brings up a 3rd down and 5. Let's see if the Leps can hold him here.
3rd and 5. Excited to be flanked right beside us here. We got longtime voice of Stark County, Sam Berkwin, doing a play-by-play for Air Radio. So. Got a little Van Halen there, right? Rocking. What Van Halen song is this, Frank? Do you know?
It's hot for teacher.
There you go.
Come on.
Dyerland hits the crossing route, the seam slant, and the Vikings connect.
Drake Cooper on the touchdown catch.
18-yard touchdown catch there.
I'm not exactly sure what the coverage was there, Mac, but kid was wide open in the end zone. Nice catch by Drake Cooper, sophomore from Hoover.
And kind of we talked about it earlier, play where they try to hit the quick seam to the outside. When you're in too deep, sometimes you run those vertical routes, you try to make the safeties cover a lot of territory, and they got stretched to the outside. And beautiful inside route, great poise by the quarterback to wait for that to open up, and the Vikings take a 13-3 lead. Koskovic hits the wedge through, and the Vikings take a 14-3 lead. We're going to take a quick break here on the Strigget Media Network.
With 9:55 to go in the 2nd quarter, it's Hoover 14, Louisville 3.
Tough. At Notre Dame, Ohio State, and right thereafter.
challenges with the determination of this. I always like what happened. Your challenge today is tough. They'll push you around and take what's yours. Fight hard and rise to the challenge to show yourself. There's your life gets
All right, we're back at the corner of South, Silver, and Mill. The Hoover Vikings making, I'm going to go out with their 50th trip to the Constitution Town. Game 101 here of this historic rivalry. Leopards open with a 28-yard Carter Dusky field goal. The Vikings answered with a 90-yard kickoff return by Aikens, and then we just had a 18-yard touchdown catch, and they're up 14-3. Colton Loy with a quick burst gets it out to the 34-yard line.
Well, Mac, let's see if the Leopards can answer here on offense. Still plenty of time left, 9:51 in the second quarter. Let's see what Coach Kappas can dial up here.
Leopards been doing a pretty nice job moving around the ground. I don't know if I think we hit a screen. Have we hit any other passes yet?
Not that I can remember. Let's see if we stick to our game plan here to run the ball, or if we're going to open it up a little bit with Owen.
Yeah, so kind of a contrast from the first three games. We're more air heavy with the yardage. Been running the ball pretty well so far.
We thank guys for their
Get those Mike Burke halftime stats here. Burek has something hesitate. Let's see what we got there.
False start.
And the Leopards been plagued by the 5-yard penalties throughout the year. Unfortunately, this is another 5-yarder, and they're going to give back to the tax man, and going to start with 1st and 15 here. Burek fakes, a little quick out to Tate Golden. He's got room and pushes forward and picks up probably about 7 or 8.
That's Tate's second catch of the game, same route.
Burek to Golden for a pickup of 9 on the play. 2nd and 6.
Golden
Leopards.
gets the Leopards in a better down and distance here. Trips here to the bottom. Quinn Burek in at receiver. Gives it Doherty, shuffles through, pushes forward, and he's going to get about 2 or 3. Get about a 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 Leopards.
Seeing the camera, I think Vikings defense coordinator has, I think he used to return for the NFL, Billy Orange Shoes Johnson there. I mean, those things could light up.
He's easy to find, Mac.
Those
the
are
lights
some
go
nice
out.
stompers there. I always thought the Browns as their alternative uniform, the color rush, they should go fluorescent orange.
I don't care much about the Browns.
A big game for the Battle of the Buckeye State coming this Sunday.
Yes, it is.
3rd and 4. Burek got a crossing route, got pressure there. He's going to scramble, and he is met hard
Likens
by Lukens. Chase Lukens. And Leopards are going to send out their punt team there. Had Austin Wade on the crossing route early, but a little pressure, I think, had to get Burek's eyes to finding an escape route. And unfortunately, the Vikings, nice pursuit, puts the Leopard drive out of commission here. First 3 and out for the Leopards, and they're going to punt.
It's not exactly easy to find crossing routes when you have defensive linemen in your face.
Yeah. Aiden Ashby back for the Vikings. Dusky kicks one out to the side, and it's going to go out about the 34-yard line there.
Fielded by Brian Beatty.
Dusky with a 31.
Brian Beatty, pretty good at handling the football back in the early 90s. One of probably the best running back I've seen here. We are going to send it down to the field here. We're going to send it down to our Tegan Evans, our sideline reporter, who's going to interview Susan Connor, the daughter of Gabe Connor, who is one of our Hall of Famers here. So we're going to send it down, I believe, right now.
Dan, so tell me a little bit about your dad and about his experiences here at Leopard football.
My dad lived and breathed Louisville Leopards basically his whole life, even though I graduated from Arlington. But in high school, he In high school, he met my mother in 9th grade in the halls of Louisville, and they were still together when he passed. My father was in a car accident.
Cole Loy on the stop for the Leopards.
I was told he was never supposed to walk again, and he came back and played his senior year and got all kinds of awards, 23 and that was quite an honor for him that he overcame that obstacle. That he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 6 varsity letters, 4 in football, 2 in baseball. I mean, everything he did was amazing. So were there any stories that he specifically told you about his experiences with the program here?
A letter that we have that told about for his 9th grade until his senior year, and I just got to read it yesterday, and it tells about how much he loved Louisville and how he and he was playing baseball. He was also good at baseball, and they kind of overlooked him, and even though he hit a no-hitter, it was a no-hitter, and they said that they would come back and see him next year, and he was very frustrated, and he said, I'm going to make those people come back and see me for who I am.
All right, well, it seems that he did a really huge impact on this town and a lot of people. Well, thank you for sharing your story. That's all I have. And I'm Tegan Evans. This is Dragon Media Network. Thank you.
Thanks, Tegan. And it's neat, Hall of Fame night there. Mr. Connor, Hall of Famer from the late 50s. But, yeah, there's a lot of names in Louisville history have made big impact, and a lot of multiple sport athletes there.
For sure.
Leopards helped by a holding penalty there. Vikings facing 2nd and 16. Carter Dean snuffs out a quick receiver screen there.
Nice to see Carter back in the game. He had limped off with a apparent ankle injury, but he looked pretty good on that play.
Zach Brocker on the targeted reception. So it makes 3rd and 17. Leopards been hurt by the seam route here. They've been in 2 deeps. Interesting if they switch it up, maybe go with a little 3 deep look here, or maybe even 4 across. With a 3rd and 17, the Vikings have been in rhythm offensively in their first 2 drives. Second drive, number 2 here. Rolling, he's going to keep it. He only picks up a couple.
Good containment by the Leopard defense there. Brings up a 4th down.
4th 15. I bring up Braden Elsass, get a little linebacker action for the Leopards. And the Vikings are going to have to punt. It's a good stop for Louisville after took a 3-0 lead. Kickoff return by the Vikings for a touchdown, gave them the lead, and they answered with another touchdown to Leopards after giving up 14 straight. Good to answer to get the defense off the field and give the offense a chance to close the gap here. 5:17 left here in the first half. Rembiak gets a punt off. Stover, one hopper, and nothing doing as a pumpkin patch engulfs him there.
Nice play by Chase Friel.
Well, Rembiak, one of the more muscular punters you're going to see out there. You know, you don't see many of those big old straight-on kickers anymore that you'd see back in our days there.
Not so much.
This newfangled soccer kicking taking over. I remember you see a lot of lineman numbers with the squared-off toes punching them through.
A lot of Mark Mosley's back in our day.
There you go. Frank, how's your kicking and punting skills?
I can still bang him on the punt. I was never much of a kicker, but I can occasionally get a spiral off the punt.
Yeah, all right.
If it's a Nerf ball.
And we get a little shuffling. I think it's going to be on Trevor Burek there. The Leopards, once again, going to start 5 yards behind the sticks here. I did some punting back in the day for the Leopards, but I was taught by my uncle, Tom Klebeck, one of the guys that taught me. Tom was a great running back, also a great punter. Dick Parker, another great punter from the 60s, really helped me with some technique. Old man Andy Aljancic punted for the Euclid Panthers, so I had a lot of good punting contests.
Of course, Uncle Tom, Syracuse.
Uncle Tom was a Cincy. Uncle Mike, Syracuse.
Uncle Mike with the Syracuse, Uncle Tom with the Cincy.
Oh, and DeMarza trying to get to the outside. He works hard, maybe picks up about 6. Nice effort by, nice burst. Really, I think it's tough as a sophomore to run the ball Yeah, you're a little tentative. I like to see him being aggressive and just turning on the burners there.
Owen's one of my track kids. He's a 100-meter runner. I think last year he ran 11.3 as his fastest time. So as a freshman, so he's got some wheels.
Burek ducks a tackle there, and he's going to be rolled down there.
Nice play by Bryce Roach.
Yeah.
For Hoover, number 17. He's one of their captains.
Burek was able to bob and weave out of the first blow, but couldn't answer blows 2 and 3 there. And the Leopards are facing a 3rd and 12 with their backs against the end zone. Leopard line did a nice job front the first couple drives. North Kansas been able to put pressure on here these last 2 possessions. Trips to the bottom side. Burek's going to roll this way. He's going to go up top. He's looking for Crosby and wasn't able to get his head around it for it, and it's going to fall incomplete there. Jack Andes, who returned a kick to open the Vikings scoring, turned the kickoff 90 yards, wasn't there on coverage. Carter Dusky comes into punt.
Pass intended for Crosby, defended on the play by
Carter's did a nice job. You mentioned earlier on, did a nice job of directional kicking.
Jack Andes.
Mason Ashby, nice athlete for the Vikings, back deep to receive.
Mason not very big, 5'8", 155 pounds, but boy is he quick.
Dusky hits a wobbler that's going to bounce out, get a nice little hop, and gets about a 30-yard punt, which netting 30 is not something we can take here. So the Vikings have to actually 36-yard line, so a 28-yard punt. Take over here. 3:33 left here in the first half.
I feel like this is an important defensive series for Louisville. We can force Hoover to go 3 and out here, possibly 4 and out here. I think that'd be a big win for us coming into the half.
Yes, Leopards need to keep it a 2-possession game. Nice crowd on hand. You can see the black and orange across the way. Plenty of blue and white on the home sidelines in this beautiful revamped stadium. The late, great Dennis Beery, big part of putting this together there. Carter Deem, another big play. Gets Carson Dryland from behind here and puts the Vikings behind the sticks.
Carter having a day today. He's been playing a little bit of cornerback. He's playing an outside linebacker today, and he's really showing up here.
And Carter, I don't think got a start till last week, but he's really made an impact.
He plays hard.
Ireland takes the snaps and looks at well, and he's got a connection. And John Collins breaks a tackle and takes it in for the score.
Again, North Canton doing a great job of exposing the soft spot in our cover 2. Jacob Palmier came up. Hat was in position to make a tackle. He just whiffed and gave up the touchdown.
The Leopards defensive backfield may have to kind of counter. Maybe, I don't know if how much they have the 3 deep look, but they're just getting scorched on the 2 deep look. Ireland doing a nice job of really, you could expose, but you got to throw a tight downfield ball there, 15 to 20 yard range where the safeties don't have time to run underneath it, and it made a pay there.
He's throwing ropes to that cover 2 soft zone. I mean, that ball's getting there quickly before the safeties have a chance to
pass. Oh, sorry there.
With 2:55 to go in the first half, it's
Puskovic misses the extra point. And we're going to take a quick break on the Straggit Media Network.
Tonight's 50-50 tickets and game ball tickets are the same colored tickets, red. The first number drawn will be a 50-50 winner. The second ticket drawn will be the game ball. The winning ticket number for the 50-50 tonight is 8, 6, 4, 1, 3, 1.
Tonight is Dollar Dog Night, is sponsored by Stark Federal Credit Union. For over 60 years, Stark Federal has been supporting local schools and providing financial services to those in Stark.
All right, we're back at Louisville Stadium here. The Hoover Vikings with 21 unanswered points. Lead the Leopards 21-3. 20-3, I'm sorry, missed extra point there. Little wedge shot that Colt Noy's going to field again. Quickly gets upfield, and he's going to get it about right to the same spot, 34-yard line here. 2:49, important for the Leopards to move the ball and hopefully put some points on the board before heading into half. Just heard there on the announcement, Dollar Dog Night.
I'll be right back. I remember you telling the story about Steve Miller's dad at the Marietta games, and they would drop the hot dogs from $3 to $1.
Russ Gingham, the fourth quarter, clear him out there, the quarter hot dogs. He was always had his ear perked up for that. Shout out to Roy Miller out there in heaven.
Yep, good guy.
Had a little Giannino's pizza there before the game. Always out Giansic my blood. Always have a good Friday night pizza.
Well, you know, Roy was Stark County's record in the shot put.
Yeah.
And the guy that broke it, Dan Deerdorf.
Dan Deerdorf. All right, here's a Dan Deerdorf trivia question. On the Simpsons, they did remember you said the Bud Bowl?
I do.
Simpsons had their version, I think it was the Duff Bowl. And they said it's Dan Deerdorf. Do you remember what the name of, they called him one of the cans was Dan Beardorf. Dan Deerdorf, Glenwood graduate.
Glenwood grad.
Michigan. Little Matt Crosby, first catch of the game. Picks up about 7 or 8.
Burek to Crosby for a pickup of 8 on the play, 2nd and 7.
And the Leopards overcome another 1st and 15, facing 2nd and 7.
Westfall and Gregory on the tackle.
Snap, he's going to throw an out route just behind Tate Golden. Hoover did a nice job getting push up front, kind of forcing Owen to rush the ball out there.
Pass intended to number 6.
So 3rd and 7. I'll tell you what, a great Friday night pizza back from the 70s and 80s, Village Pizza. No longer here, but one of my all-time favorites for you Leopards listening at home may remember that.
Where was that at?
That was right in downtown, big downtown block of Louisville.
Taking a shot.
Burek throwing up top and just misses Tate Golden, and the Leopards probably going to have to bring out their punt team again.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, that drive took all of about 1:20.
The Vikings are licking their lips for another chance to get the ball. What do you like on your pizza, Frank?
Well, it depends where I get it from, to be honest with you. If I'm just, getting your run-of-the-mill pizza, I'm a pepperoni guy, but if I'm getting certain pizza, like if I'm getting pizza oven, you got to have the sausage.
Pizza, pretty good size. I always order a little bit light. They put a lot on there, so.
Did you say you're light on the pizza?
A little light on, about half sausage. I don't like the whole, don't want to over.
Pizza oven's heavy on the sausage.
Yes. Dusky pulls it down. Nice punt. Looks like Ashby signaled for the fair catch. And the Vikings are going to take over with 2:02 left here on their own 27-yard line. 23 Vikings. Leopards started the game with a nice 68-yard drive, finished with a Carter Dusky 29-yard field goal, but it's been all Vikings since then.
It has been all Vikings. What I'm noticing on defense for Hoover is they're definitely sending more second-level pressures with their linebackers. And it's really disrupting the pass protection by the Leopards. We're not doing a super great job of picking up blocks, and Owens, doing a lot of scrambling tonight. And as you know, when you're a quarterback, if you're scrambling, sometimes that affects your accuracy. And
yep, if you're throwing with the guy in your face. Yeah, they're going with the kind of old 4-4 Hoover Vikings. Ed Glass, you guys remember Ed Glass, great coach from the 80s and mid-90s, took over for Don Hertler Sr. He kind of was the Hertler sandwich, Ed Glass in the middle. A pretty darn great lineup of coaches there.
And a decent run.
To say the least. To say the least here. But Ed liked to shift and blitz like crazy there. Dyerlin looking to the outside. Throws to Ashby, who is slowed down by Cooper Rice. Slips out and picks up about 2 or 3 here. Gets out of bounds. We're going to hear at halftime here, Tegan Evans is going to be interviewing a couple of our Hall of Famers. He's going to start with, I believe, Hunter Potts and wrap up with Kyle Smith. We'll talk about Hunter first. What do you remember about Hunter?
I remember two things about Hunter. Number one was just his work ethic. Hunter played middle linebacker for us. He was, from what I remember, and this is testing my memory, Hunter wasn't very big when he was a younger little Leopard player, freshman player. But his body developed, and man, Hunter played middle linebacker for us. And in my opinion, there wasn't really a finer middle linebacker that Louisville has ever had than Hunter Potts. He was a vocal leader, but man, would he back it up. I think my greatest memory of Hunter is probably here against Hoover, when Hoover bringing in a two-time Mr. Football, Eric Howard, and he was highly touted, and Hunter just shut him down that game. Where everywhere Eric went, Hunter went, and I tell you, I think Eric Howard had 24 yards rushing on the night, if I believe. Hunter's senior year, what a linebacker that kid was.
Dylan rolls the top side on a 3rd and 3, and he floats one up, incomplete. Good coverage by Cooper Rice and Carter Dusky there. Yeah, Hunter, I could echo. That's the first thing to come on. He was not, I caught him in 8th grade, so I think he's just kind of an average 8th grade looking kid. And all of a sudden, I think his sophomore year, he started playing and just making plays. And he was just a baller. He's just a guy that came to play. And, those Hoover 2 years in a row, the Leopards just totally took away Eric Howard and owned those games. And he was anchored the defense. And he's also a great baseball player.
Pitcher.
They said he threw a no-hitter and 2 home runs in the same game.
He threw 2 no-hitters in high school. But, you're right. One particular game he threw a no-hitter, and then he hit 2 out. Hunter, of course, just...
Gabe knocks it down, picks up Gabe Stouffer, and he's going to go backwards, and he's going to lose about 4 there. But does a good job. He may have lost 4, but he probably saved about 15 or 20 by knocking that ball down, not letting it roll there. So the Leopards, nice job defensively, take over, 56 seconds left.
First and 10, Leopards
Here, wearing their Columbia blue jerseys. Kyle Smith, another nice athlete. He's a 2006 graduate.
Kyle played 3 sports for us. He played football, basketball, and baseball, and excelled at all 3 of them. Obviously known here mostly for his baseball prowess. He did end up going to Kent State, was a 3-year starter, drafted by the then Cleveland Indians out of Kent State.
Burek, Austin Wade, nice little play action, ride the fake, and hit Austin on the crossing route. Moves the change, gets the first down. Yeah, I think he was a 11th, 13th round pick, somewhere in the low teens.
Yep.
I can remember, so he was helping us coach basketball. I don't know if you were helping then.
I was coaching. I was the 7th grade coach. He was my assistant.
Yeah, we were riding the bus over, I think, to Northwest and talking about things. Also, they got a phone call, and it was a major league. They do drug tests, whatever. So they just call you and say, hey, you need to be here.
Yes. Yeah. And I was sitting there, too, and he was like, well, I'm getting ready to coach a basketball game, and I believe they were going to come to Northwest High School, meet us at Northwest High School, so he could take the drug test. And I remember jokingly saying, hey, listen, you need me to step in for you today? He goes, nah, I'll be okay, Coach. Love Kyle. What a great kid. Got a chance to visit with him before the induction today. I had a chance to meet his lovely wife. He has 2 beautiful babies, and he has another one on the way. He's living in Green now.
Growing up from when we know them. And he was a really nice receiver. He's a tall receiver. He's probably, 6'5", I think?
He's 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, I think he was, he connected a lot with Mark Goulding, was the quarterback his senior year. I think they were the team that we played New Philly earlier this year. They were the team that knocked off an undefeated New Philly. I think they were 6-4, went down to New Philly and knocked them off. So he was
Obviously, I love to watch Kyle play basketball, too. He was
Burek, whether it's designed or not, it's going to keep it here on a 2nd down. Picks up about 4. 38 seconds left. Leopards, I believe, with their full complement of 3 timeouts here. Let the clock run there. Looking for a signal there. Leopards, 3rd down here. Hoping they maybe generate some points here going into halftime. 20 seconds and counting. Burek looks to the near side, throws an out route. Braden Hershey, nice catch. They're going to give it. No, he's out of bounds there. Great job of tipping it and catching it, but unfortunately the shoes were out there, and the Leopards with 14 seconds left.
I don't know. What do you do here, Mac? You punt it away, or do you?
42-yard line.
You're going to go for it.
You got to kind of play the risk-reward here. Just get a chance first down. You turn over the Vikings, they're going to have the ball with about 7 seconds left on the 42. So
timeout here by Coach
you're
Kappas.
down 20-3.
Timeout. Louisville.
So just maybe looking for a spark to go into halftime here.
I'm not sure what you want to do here. I mean, 14 seconds is kind of an odd amount of time to go for it on 4th down. I mean, especially right here on your own 42.
Yeah, they're going to have maybe two plays.
I think they're going to punt it here, Mac.
Yeah, I think Carter Destiny will probably just punt one out of bounds there and hopefully try to go into halftime with a manageable score. Vikings will receive the kick to start the second half.
Kick it away from Ashby.
North Canton with a unique setup here. Actually, it looks like they're playing their Hail Mary defense, and the Leopards are going to line up the punt.
Is number 2, Carter Dusky.
So Jake Rembilak, it looks like he's back. Dusky hits a roller that's going to take a hot roll. Looks like a Frank Grimm drive, and it's all the way down the 5-yard line.
Wow. Great kick by Carter.
It's about a 50-yard punt, and that's going to actually end the half with that roll. So we're going to send it down to Tegan Evans, who's with Hall of Famer Hunter Potts.
Louisville Leopards 3.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tegan Evans. Hunter Potts. He graduated in 2010. So you earned 6 varsity letters total, 4 in baseball, 2 in football, and you were also the NBC Player of the Year in both sports. Tell me a little bit about what Louisville meant to you in the programs.
Louisville was everything growing up. Doing Little Leopards and my friends group, we always stuck together, and we made each other better, and just a tradition. You always wanted to play at Friday nights, and it just elevated to where we were pretty good at what we did, and it just was a great time at Louisville. Yeah.
Was there anything when you were growing up that drove you to these sports and work so hard to get all of these awards that you have?
Yeah, I guess you always have people you look up to in both sports. Actually, one of the other ones, Kyle Smith, I looked up to him in baseball, and a bunch of Chris Elsass, Austin Powers. You just always had people looking up to you, and they'd always come to school and talk to you and try to get you to play sports, and always just fun coming here and having fun.
What was school like working for these NBC Player of the Year, knowing that was a possibility for you? What was it like going through that?
Yeah, it was great. You always got to work hard, and it's always teammates pushing you or whatever. But yeah, it was great. Hard days in practice, but it all works off even off seasons. But it all pays off. But yeah, it was great.
All right. Well, congratulations on everything. Again, I'm Tegan Evans.
In this performance are a flute solo by Adele Lewis, a dance solo by Michaela Lewis, and a trumpet solo by Casey Zuba. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoy The Journey to Myself. the 2008 Grammy-winning song Poker Face by Lady Gaga. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Hoover Viking Marching Band. The Hoover Band welcomes all to come to Hoover High School's Band Room on Saturday, September 9th for our annual mattress sale. Check out the huge selection of mattresses from 9 to 3 p.m. at the Hoover High School Band Room.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Louisville High School Marching Band. The band is under the direction of Mr. Christopher Bleininger, assisted by Mrs. Abigail Markowitz and Mr. Sam Portzer, and student teacher Matthew Dietrich. The color guard is advised by Mrs. Sarah Philo and Miss Carrie Ann Hardman. Percussion instructor is Mr. Justin Severns. The band is led on the field by drum majors Morgan Callan and Riley Tipton. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the 50-yard line for a special presentation. Representing the Canton Regional Chamber of Commerce this evening are Chairman Sue Palumba, Vice Chairman Jeff Berner, and Event Manager Alex Dowell. They are here this evening to present Band Director Chris Bleininger with an award for the Louisville Leopard Marching Band. The Pride of Louisville earned first place in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Parade Battle of the Bands, held on August 5th. Thank you to Pellegrino Music Center for sponsoring the first place award in the amount of $500. Let's have a big round of applause for your Pride of Louisville Marching Band. We'd like to begin our show tonight by playing a hit song released in 1980 by Ozzy Osbourne. Featuring our flags and majorettes, we hope you enjoy Crazy Train. Next, we'd like to play a hit that was made famous in 1966 by the Rolling Stones. We hope you enjoy Painted Black. and gentlemen, the pride of Louisville. Please join the Louisville Band and Band Boosters as we host the 48th Annual Music in Motion Marching Band Competition right here at Louisville Stadium next Saturday evening. The show will feature 16 bands from across the state of Ohio. Tickets are available at the gates only, and the first band performs at 4 p.m. Good luck to the Hoover Marching Band and our own Pride of Louisville next Saturday.
Louisville is proud to be a part of the National Fuel Up program, which is run through Gen Youth and sponsored by our national dairy farmers. Fuel Up is an all-in-school health and wellness program. This program empowers youth to make sustainable changes in the areas of nutrition and physical activity within their schools and communities. The key to Fuel Up's success is having a strong student foundation, a team of committed educators, and community engagement. We hope you all enjoy Louisville's Fuel for Play 60 Community Kickoff as you enter the stadium tonight. Check us out online, so together we continue to build a healthy, high-achieving generation of youth. Special thanks to the local businesses who attended and donated to our community kickoff in support of our wellness initiatives, especially Giannino's, Giant Eagle, Beery Cheese, and Smith's Dairy. The winner of the NFL Autograph Football is J.P. Lowry. Congratulations. Please make your way to the concession stand to claim your football. Again, J.P. Lowry.
Hello everyone, I'm Tegan Evans with the Striking Media Network, and I'm here with Kyle Smith, who graduated in 2006. So tell me a little bit about your experiences with Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, every experience that I had with Louisville was just an extremely fun one. I mean, I remember coming to games here, being a little guy and playing football behind the stands there with some of my best friends. So, I mean, grew up at the stadium, going to the basketball games, and watching some of the greats that have come through this program. And when I finally had the opportunity to get on the field, it was just a thrill of a lifetime. So, very excited.
All right, and you had 10 total varsity letters in multiple different sports. So is there any specific sport that really meant a lot to you more than the others?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you, I mean, baseball, I ended up being able to play after high school. So that obviously was a love of mine, but the one that really stood out was football. There's nothing like playing Friday night football in Louisville, with this town, with the people, and with some of your best friends, and making some of the best memories that you can ever have. So football was definitely some of my favorite memories throughout high school.
Now, you mentioned you played baseball in college, correct?
Yeah.
What was the change like from playing in high school and then moving on to college?
Yeah, it was a good change, I would say. I mean, obviously you play high school baseball and you try to expose yourself to as much as you can, but when you get to the next level, I mean, everybody that we played with was the best player on their high school team, right? So you get to that first practice, and it's a little eye-opening to see the talent and the abilities that are out there. So it was a really great experience. I mean, Louisville prepared me. I mean, and honestly, I attribute it to playing multiple sports, right? I think the lessons that I was able to learn playing football, playing basketball, really helped me be able to, when I got to college, be able to play baseball at a high level.
All right, well, was there anything growing up as a kid that just inspired you to work this hard, to earn all of the things that you did earn to be where you are today?
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing was watching these guys when I was a little kid come to the games, watching the guy, Brian Beatty, Dan Wilson, watching those teams growing up, and just wanting to wear the Louisville uniform and be just like those guys, and just make the town proud and have great memories with my friends. So that was my biggest motivation when I was a little guy growing up, to be out on the field here.
All right, well, congratulations on this. Again, I'm Tegan Evans, and this is the Striking Media Network.
Here. Hey, we are back at Louisville Stadium. Thanks, Tegan, for that interview of newly inducted Hall of Famer Kyle Smith. Neat hearing that interview. Neat Kyle talking about probably a familiar story of the Leopard athletes, looking back to previous Leopard stars and those memories. And Kyle, some of you remember well. We're also joined by another great Leopard athlete. I don't know if he's old enough to be called a legend yet here, but Tyler Adams is joining Coach Frank Grimm and I here. Tyler had an exciting August here. Football, a little different than very few people have experienced, and got to do a tryout with the Colts. How was that experience with the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exactly what you dream about, I guess, as a kid, and really just being in the room with guys who are at that level and kind of using that as a measuring stick and seeing where you need to get one day. But definitely got to live out a dream, thankful for it, and hopefully there's more to come.
So Tyler is a 2015. When did you graduate from?
17.
2017. I'm
Yep.
old aging him here. He's a 2017 graduate. Great star on the Leopard gridiron. Went to Harvard.
Yep.
Played there and battled some injuries as well. You had what with your knee?
2 ACLs, yeah. Same knee.
Same knee, 2 ACLs.
Twice in 6 months, yep.
Yeah, so you did. How many years were you at with the Crimson?
4.5.
4.5 years?
Yep. And then a semester at Butler.
Yeah, I
Went
got a chance to play for the Bulldogs. And then how did it come about to get your NFL look with the Colts?
Yeah, so I did a pro day at Harvard. I went back there and tested really well, just kind of like what you would do at the Combine. And the Colts actually weren't there, but I knew I'd get invited to their they do local pro days. Like I worked out with the Patriots and I worked out with the Colts because they're at Indianapolis with Butler, and they saw me at their local pro day. And then draft weekend, I thought I had some interest, so I thought it was realistic. Didn't get signed. They just brought me to rookie mini camp, which was really a tryout for me for 3 days, and then they let me know at the end of the mini camp that they were going to sign me the next day.
Awesome. So when was your man, I'm in the NFL? What was your what was it like putting on that horseshoe helmet? What was your welcome to the big leagues moment?
Yeah, it's hard to say because it moves so quick that you don't really have time to stop and think about it. You can definitely appreciate it for a minute, but you still got stuff to do. I mean, it's still a job, so you got to be ready to go. But I would say walking into the stadium the first time for that first preseason game, knowing my family was there, it's always surreal when you don't know when your family's sitting. That's when you're like, okay. So that was definitely a cool experience, getting to see them after the game. That was probably when it became real for me.
What was it like walking into your wide receiver room and your position coach is Reggie Wayne?
Hey, to be the best, you got to learn from the best, So that was definitely a blessing. And it's a guy that I watched growing up when I was a little kid in the backyard playing around like I was Peyton Manning throwing it to Reggie Wayne. So to be with a guy who's a future Hall of Famer, you obviously know from watching him that everything he says you have to take seriously.
True.
And there's no better guy to learn from. I mean, he's fresh out of the league, so he knows how it operates. He knows what they're looking for. So no better guy to come into the league under than Reggie.
Yeah, we were talking on the field a little earlier. This is Frank Grimm with Tyler Adams, Louisville graduate, Harvard graduate, Indianapolis Colt. We were talking on the field about, what's next for you. And I remember when you were in middle school, you used to talk about your dream was always to play basketball in North Carolina. I'm going to play basketball in North Carolina. Well, that didn't work out, but I guess if you can't play basketball in North Carolina,
the next best thing.
The next best thing is you might as well play in the NFL. I mean, go to Harvard, have a Harvard education to fall back on, which isn't really going to be a bad thing. And then, but thinking about your time here at Louisville, any certain part of your experience here at Louisville stand out, maybe as a Leopard football player?
I think my junior season as a whole, I thought we had a really good team. That we had a really tough loss at Austintown Fitch. I think it was the second week, and I think we made a decision right there that we weren't going to go down like that again. And just progressing throughout that season, I loved our coaching staff, and I loved the guys I was playing with. And a lot of them went on to play at the next level, whether it have been, Division II or Division III, but they excelled. And I loved our unit that year. That everybody was bought in, and that was probably my most memorable season.
I would say my most memorable Tyler Adams football game was your game you had against Salem. I mean, everything you did. I think you had 2 interceptions. I think you caught 4 touchdown passes, if I'm not mistaken. That was at their place, right?
Yeah.
On the turf at Salem, with their big mouth coach, and we shut them up pretty quick that night, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that was a fun game.
And that your junior year is the year you guys almost beat Hoover in the playoffs, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I still think about that one all the time.
No
we
doubt.
had them down to the wire. I remember them chirping before the game too. And our side's completely silent, and they kept saying, "We aren't Minerva. We aren't Minerva." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see." We went into halftime up on them, and you could tell the tone had shifted a little bit. They were a little more quiet.
Yeah, I believe won the state championship that year.
That was the beginning of their run. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of homegrown talent on our end where they definitely reaped from a lot of different crops throughout Summit County and surrounding areas.
Yeah.
That's true.
So you obviously besides your dip with the NFL, dip your toes in the NFL, spent a lot of time college at the elite level, the Ivy League, and Butler playing Division I football. What was the difference of just jumping to that level? What did you notice the big difference just in the competition, the work ethic?
Yeah, I think, the jump from high school to college, it definitely becomes more of kind of a job. It's not yet. You're not getting paid. You're going to school. But you can tell there's more of a priority. You spend more time in the weight room. Like the off season in high school is really, you might meet once or twice a week. The off season in college is 5 days a week. You're either film or you're at spring ball or something. And then I would say the other thing is the complexity of the game. I think we did a decent job in high school watching film and kind of breaking down what we were going to see that week. But in college, and especially NFL, it's like you could call one play, but there's 4 different ways to run it, depending on what the defense does. So I think really the complexity of the play calling and the playbook.
Vikings get touchdown number 4 there on a nice run.
So to wrap this up, Tyler, tell us what's next for you.
I'm going to stay in shape, hopefully get another opportunity here soon. And if that doesn't happen, hopefully be playing in the spring in XFL, USFL, one of those leagues. But definitely feel like I still have some good football in me, so we'll see where it goes from here.
There you go. How'd you do in the Harvard classroom there?
Well, 3.5, respectable.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, respectable.
I got a 3.5 in high school. It was 1.75 twice.
I think they call Harvard the Muskingum of the East.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And of course, Tyler, the one of, I think, 4 brothers?
Yes.
Yeah,
Son of a longtime Louisville elementary guidance counselor and former head baseball coach, Mark Adams. What's one thing, we'll just wrap up, what's one thing, a takeaway from just your dad and what he instilled in you guys that you try to carry on?
I'd say 2 things. One is definitely our faith, very strong there, and just kind of believing in a purpose. And then the second one is I feel like he's really keen on just one more day. Just give it one more day. Let's see what happens. So, he's a big reason why I was able to stick through everything with injuries and transferring schools and getting cut and getting re-signed. And he definitely deserves a lot of credit there.
Well, he's proud of you. The man upstairs is proud of you. And your 2 old middle school basketball coaches are proud of you. Hey, appreciate you talking with us. We wish you the best of luck, and God bless you, buddy.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder, this game is being streamed live by Strigit Media Network. You may also watch it on post-game delay. That's Strigit Media Network on post-game delay. Thank you.
All right, hopefully you enjoyed that interview with Tyler Adams. Sorry we didn't give you the play-by-play, but unique experience to talk to our Leopard alumni, and I believe the last guy to wear an NFL uniform since Bob Galaggio with the Patriots there in the early 1970s. Nice drive by the Vikings, gives them the 27-3 lead as the Leopards get their ball for the first touch of the second half. Special night here at Louisville besides the rivalry game, a Hall of Fame night. Hunter Potts and Kyle Smith got to hear in interviews earlier. So I'm Burek with Owen DeMarze, the sophomore beside him. Takes his first snap of the second half. Give up the gut to DeMarzio, breaks the outside. He's got his seam, and he's off for Lahr. He's to the 40, to the 35. Unfortunately, we see a yellow hanky out. And this one's going to come back, and it's like a blocking downfield. So the Leopards probably, if my math's right, going to end up going from a 30-yard run to just a 2-yard gain. Leopards open the game with a 68-yard drive, capped by a 29-yard field goal by Carter Dusky, but it's been all Vikings ever since.
First down.
Who started the game
Replay, first down.
with a 90-yard touchdown kickoff return. By Jack Andes, and it's been off to the races for the Vikings here. 1st and 9. Leopards trips to the tight side up top. Fake, throw out to Golden and Tate, and he is buried. Zach Brocker on the tackle, and the Leopards lose 3, so 2nd and 12.
Durnan to take Golden for a 1-yard loss on the play. Zach Brocker on the tackle for the Vikings.
Coach Chris Kappas scanning the play sheets, signaled in by Corey Godon, one of the assistants there. Leopards with a balanced set, 2 receivers on both sides. Little fake jet sweep, throw out to the flats. Nobody home. There's a little misread there. And it's going to be 3rd and 12. The fans listen to those interviews at home, kind of neat. Leopards talking about their traditions growing up, memories there. Former athletes. A lot of memories here. This football field's been on this neighborhood patch for the last century almost here. So 3rd and 12. Frank Grimm back with us here. Burek rolls out. Got nowhere to go, and he's going to throw it away, and the Leopards are going to bring out the punting unit again.
Intended for number 5, Tate Golden.
Just pushed the pocket outside, ran out of real estate.
Federal League's pretty balanced this year. North Canton's going to make their push for it from the first 3 weeks of the year. Jackson seems like it's got a nice team. Perry lost a tough one to St. V's last week. McKinley got a nice win down at Dublin Kaufman. Lake overtime win. We're going to have to check some of our halftime scores there.
So the teams that I know, that's a bomb right there of a punt. Wow. Unfortunately, when the player of the game's your punter, Mac, that sometimes speaks to some volumes about what your offense is doing. But
Dusky,
that was just a bomb by Dusky.
Yeah, Dusky with, if my math's right, a 57-yard punt. I think I was about 55 in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Did a little checkup like a Frank Grimm wedge. And the Vikings are going to take over on their own 7-yard line.
So, if I'm not mistaken, the undefeated teams in the county, and I'm probably missing some, but Greene, Massillon, Canton South, and Marlington. Is Greene in Stark County? That's a great question.
Greene is just over the border.
Portage.
Part of their Summit County.
Summit. So Massillon, Canton South, and Marlington definitely are 3-0. I don't know if there's any other undefeated teams in the county, but of course Canton South getting it done. They play Orville tonight.
So Carson Dyerland takes the snap. Gives the Kyle Oreglia. Trying to look up some scores here online. Second and 10 there.
Caden Straley, defensive tackle, went in on the play right there. He subs out for Josh Nicholson at nose guard.
So the Vikings facing a 2nd and 10. Fake, throw to the outside. Ashby with the catch, gets the corner, and he's close to the first down. I think they're going to give him it.
Pass completed to number 3, Mason Ashley. Dusky and Lloyd.
5:06 left here and counting.
You know, Dyerland and the Hoover's quarterback in the first half, 7 to 10 for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's pretty efficient right there. He throws a nice ball.
Nice ball, nice poise, gets nice protection up front.
I'll tell you, their tailback, number 20, Maraglia, he's not very big, and he squirts through those little cracks in the defensive line. He accelerates pretty fast, and he runs hard.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Joe Morris from back in the 80s
for the Giants.
Giants, Michigan guy, I believe, or was that him or his brother was at Michigan? I think he was a Michigan guy.
I believe he was. If you prefer to call them Michigan, I'm a Michigan guy. But
they have him listed at 5'8", $185 there. Kyler takes it again. And he's going to squirt forward for a few. Carter Deem initially slowed him down there. He's been in a lot today.
Yeah, it's Carter, gutting it out right now with an ankle, just playing on a leg and a half right now, really leaving it on the field tonight for the Leopards.
Braden Elsass there, the sophomore, making some tackles, getting his nose in there. Anthony Chris getting some action on the defensive line.
Anthony, a senior.
2nd and 10. I'm sorry, 1st and 10. Fake. Dyerland is brought down there.
Great play.
Number 2 having a big night, Carter Dusky.
Doing it all tonight. Handling the kicking, coming on the outside linebacker blitzes. Great play by Carter.
Don't see too many guys with a sack and a punt and a field goal in the same game.
No, not in high school, not in college. That's a good point. Carter obviously took a year off from football, I believe his freshman year, maybe even his sophomore year, so back on the program. It's nice to have him back.
Coach Chris Kappas working on getting some guys out of the hallways and onto the field there. Dyerland fires a bullet on a slant to the outside. Brockler makes a catch there. Picks up 7. Going to make it 3rd and 13 here. 2:34 left in third quarter. 27-3 Vikings. 27 straight points since the Leopards' opening drive of field goal. Leopards have been doing a better job, I think, up front against a strong team. I mean, Vikings have had their moments, but Leopards are trying to hold their own at times.
Really no big chunk plays off of the run. Most of their big chunk plays have been from the, for the pass here.
Got some nice perimeter guys there. Dyerland looking to the flag right out there to Brocker, and it is broken up. Nice coverage there by Cooper Rice.
Good play by Cooper. What I've noticed, Mac, is it seems like the Leopards have got out of that cover 2 look on defense here. They've been running a lot of single high safety, playing some man on the perimeter, and that's that was a good play by Cooper there. Man coverage on the receiver, batted it away, brings up a Hoover punt.
Gabe Stouffer back.
Gabe Stouffer to return it for the Leopards.
Rembliak set the punt. Counts him out there. Leopards go off the punt, don't get it. Nice high wobbler to the Vikings sideline. Takes a big bounce back, and the Leopards going to be good field position at the 44-yard line. We are going to take a quick break on the Stragit Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, Akron Children's Hospital provides certified athletic trainers around here tonight to keep our student athletes safe and healthy. Akron Children's offers complete care for young athletes, including sports medicine.
All right, we're back here with $1:50 left here in the third quarter. Louisville trailing Hoover 27-3. High snap, Burek pulls it down. He's going to go up top over the middle. He's got open, it's a catch, and it is a
Cooper Rice.
Leopards, Cooper Rice. Great pitch and catch for a 56-yard touchdown.
Cooper on a post route right there, basically caught Hoover in man coverage. They ran an inside receiver at the safety, and Cooper just cooked his guy for a touchdown. What a great ball, though, by Owen Burek. Beautiful pass.
And a fingertip catch by number 3, who's made his contributions defensively big this year, 4 interceptions. I think that might be his first catch, and he made it count.
Well, that's just Cooper showing off his speed right there. Just man coverage, just ran by the corner.
Stouffer puts the ball down, and Dusty kicks it through, and the Leopards cut the lead to 27-10. Reading off some area scores here, the Lake Blue Streaks are leading the Glen Oak Golden Eagles 10-7 in the fourth quarter. Canton Central Catholic rolling over Salem, 27-3 in the third. Triway beating Fairless 21-7 in the third quarter. Marlington Dukes, undefeated on the season, are losing to the Cheney Cowboys, 14-zip in the third. Malvern Hornets, a Division 7 team, is 3-0. They beat a Division 4 Harrison Central last week. They're now leading Tusky Valley, who's actually 2-1 on the season, have a nice season, 20-7. Alliance beating Ellett, 20-8. Northwest beating Manchester, 21-14. Garaway, small school power from down in T County, leading Carrollton 28-7. The Bulldogs rolling over Perry 30-0. Any certain teams in the county have been surprising so far this year?
Surprises? Sometimes you're playing these non-league games at the beginning of the season. If you schedule them correctly, it's real easy to be 3-0 or 2-1. But obviously you have to mention Massillon. Massillon, perennial state powerhouse. They generally are 3-0 at this point. They're 3-0 again. McKinley obviously is going to be in the mix. They're always, they always are full of athletes. So as far as surprises, I would say, not really at this point in the county.
Vikings, fair catch the ball there at the 27-yard line. I got a shout out to Ted Street, Leopard quarterback from the undefeated Leopards back in 1966, if I remember right. Sends me a text saying his favorite memory was his senior year at Hoover. Coach Paul Starkey called 49 power sweep, and tailback Mike Klebeck took it 80 yards to the house in a Leopard victory.
Of course, Uncle Mike, that's Mac's uncle. Legendary mom Joni's brother.
Yeah, so Mike, interesting. He was the fourth in a row. He actually went to kindergarten, I believe, the age before he graduated. He was just 16 because my grandma was ready to get the kids out of the house. So he started school early and graduated early, went to Syracuse and played some time there. He actually had a tryout with the Jets, if I remember right.
There he is again, 23 Carter Dean coming from his outside linebacker position for a tackle for a loss. I feel a little bit of a momentum shift here, Mac. I think that touchdown to Cooper might have motivated the defense.
Yeah, and this young squad's got to look for things to build on, and right now they're building on a nice offensive drive, got a nice stop before that, and they got the Vikings behind the sticks here, 2nd and 13. Dyerlin looking up top. He's got a man, but unfortunately it's going to go out of bounds there.
You look at the athletes on the field right now. We are loaded with sophomores and juniors playing a lot of minutes here at the beginning of the season for the Leopards.
Cooper Rice in coverage there. He looks a little, after running some offense, running that long 56-yard touchdown catch. Probably a little bit left, a little bit down on the tank there. But that's an example of a corner. You got to make the quarterback make the perfect throw to the outside, and he couldn't do it. And the Vikings are now facing a 3rd and 13. Rice and Jake Palmier at corner. Stouffer and Lloyd looking at a little cover 0, straight man, no safety there. They're going to bring some pressure. Flush from the outside. Dyer looks to the outside, and he's going to miss his target. Ashby and the Vikings once again going to have to punt.
Nice defensive series by the Leopards. Coach Jake Atkins making the defensive calls from up here in the box. Put together a good series. Leopards will get the ball back here. 48 seconds left in the third quarter.
And I got to really give credit to this young squad. You know, they go down, they give them a touchdown to start the third quarter. They're down 27-3. That's the time where a lot of schools and a lot of teams are mailed in, and they've come back to fight, and they got a chance to cut it to a 2-score game. Rembliak hits a shank to the Hoover Vikings sideline, bounces back, and the Leopards are going to take over after just a 14-yard punt, and they're going to take over on the Viking 40-yard line. With 39 seconds left, the Leopard faithful give their team a well-earned applause. And Owen Burick's going to lead his troops back out on the offensive side of the ball. What do you think, Frank? Going to dial up top again here? What do we got?
Possibly. I think we hand the ball off here.
Let's say a little bootleg action here. Play action, looking for the screen. Wade catches the deep. He's got to break a tackle, and he does not there. Great tackle by Rembliak. And the Leopards lose 5.
Rembliak, I mean, from his safety position, just read that the whole way. Didn't really give Austin too much of room to turn up field.
So that's Jake Rembliak, Cole Rembliak, the middle inside linebacker. Burick is going to throw a screen over top. He's got DeMarzio, plenty of room. Gets upfield, and he's going to pick up about 12 and get it to 3rd and 2. And we're going to end the third quarter riding some Leopard momentum. 27-10 Vikings. We're going to take a quick break on the Straggett Media Network.
13 at the end of 3 in Hoover 27, Louisville 10.
Hello, I'm Tanya of Thomas Dental. Would you like to improve your smile? Maybe you think you're not a candidate. Here at Thomas Dental, we can offer you dental solutions from professional whitening, braces to full mouth restoration with payment arrangements for almost any budget. At Thomas Dental, you have access to a dentist 24/7, from routine dental visits to emergency dental care. We're one call away when you need dental help the most.
You like spending time with your family, but have you planned for when that is not possible? Guiley & Guiley provide affordable estate planning protecting you and your family. Our experience is your solution. Guiley & Guiley.
See the Pride of Louisville playing Rock and Roll Part 2, or the Hay song there, and the Leopards are making some hay here.
Little Gary Glitter.
There you go. And on a 3rd and 2, the Vikings snuff it out there on a quarterback keep. It's going to be 4th and 5. Got to imagine we're going to go for it here. And there's a flag goes up. And
pretty sure that's unsportsmanlike on Hoover.
Leopard's been hurt by the hanky. They're going to be helped here today by a hot head. And that's going to push the ball all the way inside the 20-yard line.
Cole Rembliak on the personal foul for Hoover. Just, you know, you make a good play, but the one thing you can't do is help yourself up on the quarterback's helmet. That's really what he did.
There's always been passion, chirping. You think that's, in this age of social media, you think that's increased a little bit?
Interesting. You know,
I used to do a lot more. I mean, kids do talking with their play, but I think just the nature of it's glorified a lot more, the trash talk.
Well, for sure. I mean, there's definitely a vehicle to show off and say what you want, you know, behind a cell phone on social media, but I'm sure it definitely carries over to the field.
Burick going to throw the corner. He's looking for Austin Wade.
Just
Austin. Outside his hands, and it falls incomplete.
What a great effort by Austin. Got his left hand on it. He almost pulled that into the corner of the end zone.
Nice coverage by Mitch Gregory. I don't know if he kind of held one of those hands down, but.
Nice. 2nd and 10 here for the Leps.
11:39 here and left in the game. Louisville looking to cut it to a 10-point lead here. Burek. Golden in motion, fakes the trail, looks, throws across the middle to Wade, who didn't see it, and it is picked off. Rocker got some space. He gets to the 20 to 30. He's got to the end. And we got some shoving and pushing behind him. He's going to take it out to the 40, but I think we're going to get some type of action here. It's going to bring it back. And Burek was looking for Wade. Wade didn't see the ball, and the Vikings are going to take over. So we had a trading blows over in the cheerleading section there. Tough break for the Leopards. And the Vikings in their traditional black pants, white jerseys, orange helmets with the 5 stripes.
After the interception, personal foul, return team 14, 15 yards, half the distance, first down, Hoover.
So the Vikings look like they're going to get it probably at about the 8-yard line instead of at the 40.
Just high school kids not able to handle the emotions. This is a big rivalry game. There's always chirping going on in the Hoover-Louisville game.
And I'm guessing, Frank, you're a guy that did little speaking back when you played. You're a man of few words. You carried a big stick, right?
Let's just say my mouth was much faster than my feet.
I have a hard time believing that.
You know, it's funny. You watch tapes of yourself in high school and college, and you're never really as good as what you thought you were.
Yeah, humble pie comes out.
Yes, it does. Especially when you have a coaching background and you're able to go back and watch yourself from a coaching perspective.
Speaking of looking at old tapes, I'll give a shout out to Jared Heller, who runs the Leopard Nation website there, as Moreglia gets out to the outside, grinds it out there. But anyways, Jared Heller, Leopard Nation, has video of tons of Louisville games from past decades, and he will, for each week, this week's North Canton week, he'll put out on Facebook some different games. Saw the 1993 game there, Dan Wilson, the tailback, the Leopards won. Saw my junior year, 1987, the Leopards, we were 1-6. Hoover Vikings were top 10 ranked in Division I, 6-1, and they left with a 10-7 loss.
Who scored your touchdown?
Who scored our touchdown? I think it was Brad McGowan on a quarterback sneak, maybe? Preston Ireland takes a snap. He's going to keep it. Bounce the outside, and nothing doing there. Stretched out there, and Cam Doherty hog-ties him and puts him down there.
Nice play by Cam from his outside linebacker position, filling the hole, making good contact, holding on for dear life, and dropping him for a 4-yard loss.
Second and 5 here. 15 with 10:46 left. Yeah, once in a while watch it. I think that was on whatever Facebook, watching highlights of that game. First of all, it's played on grass. Everybody's got long, baggy jerseys. It's just a whole totally different game. It's all, smash. I'll give Hoover back then. They did run 4 wides. They ran some quad sets, so something different. Bad snap. Ireland tries to get wide there. He gets to the corner. He's got a guy open, but he's going to have to take a big loss.
Leopards bringing it on defense.
Brady Hawk, Cooper Rice, Carter Deem, Columbia Blue Swarm puts the Vikings all the way back on their 17-yard line, facing a 3rd and 24.
What's your 3rd and 24 call?
Well, if I'm the Vikings there, up 17, I'm stretching the field and see if you can beat somebody on the perimeter.
I'm running a trap and punting on 4th.
They're going to run the quarterback keep. And Ireland gets a few, and the Vikings are going to have to pump.
Good. Another good defensive series by the Leopards. Pretty impressed. Coach Atkins and his defensive staff making some adjustments at halftime, getting out of that cover 2 look, forcing more run opportunities for Hoover and answering the challenge.
Gabe Stouffer back near midfield. Louisville defense really growing up. They're big, by far their sternest test of the year, and they were trailing the scoreboard. Really played a nice second half there. Ryderak gets a big punt. Stouffer does a Willie Mays fair catch all the way back to 35-yard line. That is a 50-yard punt, just under 50 yards, and with 8:52 left, the Leopards going to try to respond back from that last interception. Owen Burek and the troops take the play call by Coach Kappas. I'll give the Louisville faithful sticking around, supporting their team, and they respect a hard effort, even though they're trailing. A lot of applauses with the defense there at that last stop. Burek, low reverse.
Ah, boy.
You're holded by the Burek. Trevor Burek up front. He's going to call for a hold. And the Leopards are going to be facing a 1st and long there. And I can't remember if high schools changed that. They call holding a spot foul, even if it's behind the line of scrimmage. They did for a while, so if they do, this could end up being about a 17-yard penalty. I'm thinking they may have changed that in recent years. I think it looks like they do, because they're going to mark it off from the line of scrimmage.
10 yards, previous spot, replay, first down.
It's Trevor's 3rd penalty tonight. Obviously, Trevor, big learning curve for Trevor. I mean, at this time last year, he's playing Little Leopards football.
Yeah, first freshman ever to start in Louisville history.
And he's going to be good.
Going to be real special. Nice athlete, nice basketball player. Burek looks around, bounces to the outside, and he's going to go down there. Didn't have the Greg Pruitt tearaway jersey, unfortunately. And it's going to be 2nd and 13.
This is turning into a defensive battle here. Really not a whole lot of offense here the last 10 or 12 minutes.
Leopards hit a 56-yard touchdown toss from Owen Burek to Cooper Rice to cut the lead to 27-10. Drove inside the 20-yard line. Fortunately, the Vikings came up with an interception to end that drive. 7:56 and counting. Burek, play action, more pressure, and he's going to go down again. And it's hard right now. We're in a passing situation. The Vikings just pin their ears back and go, and it's showing here in these last 2 plays.
Just collapsed pocket, really. Owens having no chance to throw here at this point. Brings up 3rd and forever, 3rd and 34.
3rd and 34, Frank. What's your play call here?
Different scenario, obviously being down 17. I'm going to run the trap and punt on 4th down.
All right. Let's see if we run Austin Way in a little seam route here down the middle. And run a crossing. Burek tries to dump off a screen there.
Screen.
Doherty tries to get to the outside. Stiff arm, fights his way, picks up about 7, gets out of, actually thought he got out of bounds. They keep it running there. So the Leopards likely going to have to punt. Had a debate last night. If you watched the Chiefs-Lions, Frank, did you watch any of that game?
I did not watch one down of that game.
Quarters, the Chiefs, with about 2:08 left, are facing a 4th and 25 with 3 timeouts left on their own 35.
How much time left in the game?
2:08.
2:08. They're down what?
Down a point.
Yep.
3 timeouts left.
They punted.
They did not punt. They trusted Patrick Mahomes. My wife was livid about that for about 2 minutes. They did not get it. He almost connected on the pass. And the Lions finished him off there in a big win to open the NFL season.
All those analytics, they probably have covered that. What are your odds of converting this 3rd down? What are your odds of getting the ball back with 3 timeouts? Who are we to second guess Andy Reid?
Yes, and you got a guy named Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Not too bad.
No, but how about the Lions, though? Big win. Dan Campbell.
Yes, Dan Campbell. I always liked him. He's a tone setter.
Yes.
And he's got his team buying in. And I'll tell you what, in the NFC, they got to be as much as favored almost anybody, maybe other than the Eagles. How you feeling about your Steelers this year, Frank? Low snap between the legs.
Well, the NFL professionals have ranked that division and have had them anywhere from first to last. In my opinion, I think that Kenny Pickett, obviously starting his sophomore NFL campaign, I think our season's going to be predicated on how well he handles things, and if he plays well, I think we make the playoffs. If he doesn't play well, I think we could finish third or fourth in the conference. I think we're going to be 2-0 against Cleveland. Like, that's my big take. We're going to be 2-0 against Cleveland. And
I'll
everything
agree
else.
with it. All rides on Pickett. And you know what? Didn't look good for most season. Had a nice finish, a couple of nice.
He did. 7
2-minute
games,
drives
played well.
Win them. Yep. Towards the end there, looked like we have fumble. Are we gonna give it to the Leopards there? And the official not going to give a little home cooking. He's going to call them down. Let's see if we have a conference here. The sideline official adamant. Leopards trying to send it the other direction.
Ruling on the field, the runner was down.
We might have to. Coach Cap is going to throw his replay flag or not there.
I don't see him reaching in his sock.
No red sock in their high school pockets.
For 16 yards.
So that's going to make it a 3rd and 6 there.
And Mac, your opinion on Cleveland this year?
Cleveland, you know what? It's the most talented team since the dog days of the mid-'80s. Nice out route caught by Brocker from Dyerland, and Vikings pick up the first down. You know what? If Deshaun Watson of the Houston Texans comes back, they could have a special year.
They could.
Deshaun Watson the last 6 games, after almost 2 years of rust, plays more like that. It's going to be a new coach next year. I am really excited about their defense coordinator, Jim Schwartz. Actually replaced my old. Joe Woods was not popular with Cleveland Browns fans. He was actually my old position coach at Muskegon. That was his first coaching stop. His defense played like the Muskies, unfortunately. Nice run there by Maraglia. But I think, it's predicated on the quarterback. And that division is just tough. For all of them, it's just tough. There's no breather. You move any team from the AFC North to the NFC, and they're a top 4 team, I'd say.
I mean, in the NFL especially, is there any greater position than quarterback where your whole success of your team is predicated on that position?
In this era, protecting quarterbacks, protecting receivers down the middle, yes. And I'll tell you what, the Steelers, which my dad grew up probably 10 minutes from the stadium in Euclid, taught me to hate the Steelers early, but the Steelers just run they have a great franchise, great philosophy. Everybody buys in, and they continue to sell it. And when you come into the black and gold,
I can't see Andy talking ill about anybody. Would Andy talk ill about the Steelers, Mac?
You know what? Here's something there. We were not allowed to go to Steelers games because it was just too much obscenities. He took me to games all the time. We sat in the dog pound, pre-dog pound days. We wouldn't go to the Steelers games. Just a little too crazy.
I've been to some Steelers and Browns games in my lifetime. It has been an experience every time I've gone.
And just to whatever you've seen, whether it's Heinz Field or Cleveland Stadium, whatever we call it now, to see it at probably Old Three Rivers, and especially at the old Cleveland Municipal Stadium, you could probably amplify it by 10 in the craziness. You did not want to wear a Steelers jersey at that old place.
I made that mistake once. I was with my wife, Dosia. I was a much younger man, and I unfortunately had to introduce a young man to the concrete.
Reglia takes it into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. 33-10, the Vikings put an exclamation point on what's going to be a victory in the 101st matchup between the Vikings and Leopards with 4:04 left. Nice drive by North Canton to put the game away. Paul Koskovic set the kick. So where'd you get that? Where'd you have a little scuffle? Is that in Pennsylvania, or is that?
No, I was in Cleveland.
Shores of Lake Erie.
We were walking down 3rd Street, I believe, and this gentleman wouldn't leave my wife alone. She had on a Greg Lloyd jersey. That's how long ago it was. I believe I had on a Greg Lloyd jersey as well. He was my favorite player. and he wouldn't leave her alone. And I asked him once nicely and asked him twice nicely, and then I asked him a third time not so nicely.
And I'm sure his blood alcohol content was probably not at 0.0.
And then, he was on his way to the Muni lot. He was already pretty toasty, I'm sure. But I'm a staunch Steeler fan, and I'm old enough to remember when it meant something. And then we had that streak, the Ben Roethlisberger years, where it really wasn't much of a rivalry.
Yeah, the post, when the Browns, moved to Baltimore, unfortunately, that really cut the legs out of a really special rivalry.
It did.
That's never really gotten back, and hopefully maybe with the Browns upgrading the roster, get a little bounce, and we're going to hopefully field it there. Nice job by Carter Dusky, Mr. Everything.
How about Hoover kicking an onside kick there, up 24 with 4 minutes to go?
I don't know if that was a misinterpretation. I think Coach Baumeister raised his hands, but I do remember, and I think the year you coached back in 2019, the Leopards' last victory, I think we covered 2 onside kicks in the first half. North Canton went about 20 minutes without touching the ball.
Yeah. I remember preparation that week. Jeff Twitty was our head coach. He was big on trick plays, and we put in 2 variations of onside kick. We brought them both out in the first half and recovered both of them. What are the odds of that happening?
Owen Burek comes back out there. He's going to throw a wheel route to Austin Wade, just out of his fingertips.
That's intended for number 85, Austin Wade.
Austin's a big body.
Number 16, Mitch Gregory on the coverage.
2nd and 10 here. Leopards next week will travel to Uniontown or Hartville. I'm not sure exactly the code of the stadium.
I think the stadium's in Uniontown.
To face the Lake Blue Streaks in the battle for the LHS. Burek scrambles around, pump fakes. He's going to slip forward for about 3 or 4.
Can we call that the battle of Route 44?
Is it off 44 or 43 there? 44 kind of goes to the outskirts there. First game ever played against the Lake Blue Streaks in Akron at the Rubber Bowl.
Wow.
Lake was actually there. They have a beautiful stadium. They were building it that year, so we played up in Akron. Got to play underneath the Goodyear blimp.
Wow.
Burek throws an out route. Hershey with the catch. Nice job by Braden. Gets out of bounds.
It's Braden's first touch of the night. He's our leading receiver coming into the game in yardage and touchdowns. He's got 2 touchdowns on the year.
I think the Rubber Bowl is officially gone. I think they tore down most of it, the rest of it this summer. Did you ever go up to the Rubber Bowl back in the day?
I have. I went to a concert at the Rubber Bowl. I saw Eddie Money in probably 1989 at the Akron Rubber Bowl.
Eddie Money. I think I saw him twice. Saw him, I think, at like the Canton Ribs Burnoff and maybe down in Tuscarawas County over towards Sugar Creek. They used to have a little outdoor amphitheater.
I've seen him 7 times. One of my favorites, passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah, Eddie Money. What's your favorite Eddie Money song?
Lord, that's like asking a fat guy what his favorite restaurant is. Can't make that decision.
High pass up to Hershey. Falls incomplete. Nice pass by Burek. He gets up slowly there. Good save by our media partner, Sam Berkwin, legendary Stark County voice, doing the game on radio right beside us. Great pitcher for the Canton Central Catholic Crusaders back in the late 80s. Nice recovery, flare out. Nice catch by Doherty, and it's blown up there by Cooper Westfall. Speaking of concerts, last week, Stark County Fairgrounds, Styx in concert, rocking it. Great concert. Tommy, what's their main guy there?
Tommy Shaw.
Tommy Shaw, looking in great shape. He's got Owen Burek, makes a catch. No, right off the face mask, falls incomplete. from Big Brother there. Kind of had to twist his body, couldn't quite bring it in.
Big Brother not too impressed right now with Little Brother.
All right, Frank, here's what Sticks finished with. You know, I always say certain groups have a Mount Rushmore of songs.
Yes.
They had, what's the heck's the one from Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Oh, shoot. Anyways, they finished with Renegade was their closer.
Okay.
Mr. Roboto.
Yes.
And Come Sail Away.
Well, that's the last 3 songs.
That was a pretty darn great finish. Thrown up top there, Wade. Oh, through the fingertips.
When your last 3 songs are as good as those, you're a pretty good band.
Talking to Rod Hall, longtime tennis coach and Spanish teacher, he said he was a huge Sticks fan back in the day.
Did Rod go up?
Rod was there. I saw Rod there. Looking at some Straggett Media thing we're going to be seeing here tomorrow. The cross country will be at Worcester. Volleyball at Glen Oak for a quad match. The girls soccer has a 7 p.m. match tomorrow night, youth night here at Leopard Stadium. And we got Little Leopards on Sunday. You can catch snippets of all that action by Straggett Media producer Rob Johnson, who you can count on Straggett Media for all your Louisville community coverage. They do a great job of not only covering Louisville football, but different athletic events and other things there. The Vikings going to go their clock-killing offense.
Little stack eye there, Mac. Haven't seen stack eye in quite a while.
Might have to go with the 6'2" stack monster counteract, made by what?
Tom Cruise in.
You got it.
Tom Cruise, Pennsylvania, Western Pennsylvania football.
Coached by Craig T. Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. I mean, play the man, not the ball. Play the man, not the ball.
All the right
moves. All the right moves.
And I will say Tom Cruise gets some flack for not being athletic. If you watch that movie, he does a pretty good job. A little bit of a stiff coverage, but he returns it to the house. He's pretty athletic.
He was stiff in the hips.
Yeah, probably more of an outside backer.
Do you think that he was doing his own stunts there, Mac, or do you think he had a 5'2" stunt double?
Does his own stunts still at his age. I think he's 60 now almost.
You know, all the right moves. The one thing I remember from that movie is I could never understand how the 5'10", 160-pound middle linebacker had a scholarship to UCLA.
Chris Ben
from Lost Boys fame.
Yes,
He's one of the vampires,
there. Yes, hey, recruiting a little different back then.
I thought I had a chance at some point, you know, watching that movie, that if I was at least 6 foot 180, I'd have a chance to go Division I.
You got a handoff up the gut there. Slips a tackle. Maraglia gets a first down, and that's going to ice it here with a $1:53 left. Should have took a knee at the end of that game, right?
Should have took a knee. Coach Kappas has 2 timeouts. Let's see if he chooses to use any of them here.
Any favorite football movies of all time there, Frank?
I like Gus is probably one of my top 10 movies.
Gus famously cited last year on a Leopard broadcast. We will leave it at that.
I mean, when you're our age, Mac, how can you not like Wildcats?
Yes, Goldie Hawn, great coach there. A lot of stars in that one. Remember who the quarterback was for that?
Rifleman.
Which is a famous actor now.
Rifleman's a famous
actor. I think it was Woody Harrelson was in that movie.
No. Rifleman, Woody Harrelson was...
Or Woody was a player. He wasn't
a player.
The quarterback.
He wasn't the quarterback.
Was Wesley Snipes in that, I think?
Possibly. Snacks was my favorite player, the defensive tackle that would keep the snacks down inside his pants.
I have not seen Wildcats.
You've never seen Wildcats?
I have not seen it in a while, I should say. It's the sport of kings, better than diamond rings, right?
Yes,
Old
it is.
Song there from football. You listen long enough to a Straggett Media broadcast, you never know what you're going to hear.
Especially when you're down 24.
Well, the Leopards going to fall 34-10, but Frank, I think there's some good things to build off of facing a good Federal League team here with our young Leopard squad. what are a couple takeaways on the positive you think we can go head into next week at Lake?
Well, I feel like our young players answered the challenge tonight. I saw a lot of good things by our sophomores and juniors. Obviously, I'm a firm believer in Coach Kappas and having our kids prepared. And, you know, sometimes you walk into a situation as a coach, it's his first year, and we're rebuilding, and we've been rebuilding for a while, and I think Coach Kappas is up to the challenge. And when you look, you know, up and down your roster, some of your best players are sophomores and juniors, and you have a really talented freshman class and a very talented 8th grade class that's coming. I think Coach Kappas knows this is going to be a process, and it's going to be a challenge, and this is, the first building block of something I'm sure that he's going to turn around here at Louisville.
Yeah, and I thought Louisville, North Canton, after trailing early 3-zip, ran off 27 straight. Their offense was clicking for the most part. I thought after that, Leopard defense really buckled it up when they could have really folded tents. Got some nice stops. Leopards on a nice connection, 56 yards from Owen Burek to Cooper Rice. And they traded blows in the second half there and stood toe-to-toe with them. I think that's important to build some momentum heading into next week when they travel up Route 44 to face the Lake Blue Streaks. Well, we thank you for watching. This is Mac Aljancic alongside my partner Frank Grimm. In the words of the late, great Joe Tate, have a good night, everybody.